Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well out there. I'm going to start with today's collective reading and energy transmission. I'm going to light some sage and send this cleansing energy if you are open to receive. And I also invite one to bring a hand to the heart. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. I hope you're doing well today. Before I get into this collective reading today, I'm going to put some energy into the cards. And I'm going to open up to angels, guides, and ancestors. If there's any messages that would like to come through for this reading today. Kia, kia. Kia, kia. Something that was coming up for me was grounding. So I invite one to also try to see if you can feel the feet on the ground or feel the sit bones if you're sitting, pressing them towards the ground. Hmm. I was just taking a walk outside a little while ago, and it's nice to feel the grounding energy. I feel like it's very helpful at times if getting into the head, or for me. So, I would like to get into this reading today and ask Spirit what cards would like to come through for today's reading to help the collective, either on for their individual path or as a whole of the collective. What messages would like to come through with love and light today? Hmm. I was getting the sacral chakra card, and I'll show it to you. This is Svadhisthana, or the creativity center, also connected to the water element. So the energy of flow. I was also seeing a beautiful flowing stream. It was very meditative and beautiful. And there's more that I would like to share on my channel, more videos coming up soon. I've been doing some different energy kind of transmission sort of things, so I hope to share that soon. And I also got the Hanged Woman. So this is kind of in the same vein of the Hanged Person or the Hanged Man in the wider Rider Waite Tarot. I always have a little, well, Rider Waite Tarot. Similar to that kind of thing. And to me, this is, I always think, well, I like to think of the kind of the fun energy. She's like upside down and smiling. So maybe some fun, playful energy might be nice. Maybe one is feeling that or would like to do more of that. And also, I got the star card. And there's also this, like, the same kind of symbol, um, with the Svadhisthana and the star in there. Blossoming creativity. This could be, like, in connections with, new physical life or artistic projects. Um, this could be connected with the the physical body, so things with digestion, um, physical strength. And also, I was feel called to pull another card out of the chakra series, and I got the throat chakra. And this has been coming up for me recently of singing. I think I mentioned this in the last tarot reading that I did, but how I feel that singing is really therapeutic and can be a beautiful outlet. Um, even if even if one doesn't necessarily, like, I love my voice now and I'm still learning and growing as a singer. Um, and even when I didn't love my voice as, like, a stylistic singer, I still enjoyed the feeling of singing and, like, the cathartic or physical process of releasing, emotion, or connecting to a thought or an idea and physically singing, so the outlet of singing. Um, and I think it actually does work the core out to a certain degree. And I think that that depends on how one how one is singing. I'm noticing the stars and the skies and little, like, the little the little things up above the little lights up above the cat's head. So this could be connecting in some way to the higher self, spirit, if one is, like, reaching up to connect with spirit. Is there anything else I need to see with these cards, spirit? I'm feeling called to do a little light language. Kiatare shianataka o shianata aliatan nodiataka. Ooh, ay, 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 ah, oh, ah. And I've been doing some transmutation process, and there's one I'd like to share with you if you're open to receive. And I learned a little bit of this from Reiki Rachel, if anyone's familiar with her. Um, but for me personally, I like to envision, like a almost like a pyramid, around me, and if I'm feeling any, like, negative emotions that I'm trying to move through, and this is like, there's lots of different transmutation processes. This is just one, that I'm giving. I don't always do this, but Sometimes just feeling like inhaling through the central channel of the body, maybe imagining the violet flame moving up the central channel of the body, and then exhaling down the four corners of the pyramid. And one could imagine like this energy going down towards the earth and being transmuted, or going into a sacred symbol to be transmuted. And one could even visualize like as as one exhales, imagining the violet flame going down the four corners of the pyramid. So really releasing that energy that's not necessary or helping. And I feel like this is especially helpful if kind of feeling stuck in a certain energy, um, or feeling in a negative emotion for longer periods of time. Um, and I think that, I mean, going through emotions is kind of natural, and like even feeling like if like for instance, I'll just give you a little bit about me. I've been dealing with some health issues recently, and it's some things that like has been really challenging for me. And like I've had some moments of grief and just crying, so um yeah, I feel like to a certain degree, like it's like kind of natural to move through emotions and like for the body and the spirit to process things, um, to help move to the next level. But I feel like at certain points, it's like it's not always helpful to stay in the energy, if that makes sense. Like, and I think that this is totally dependent on each situation. I think that if someone had like a death in the family or something like that, um, I think that grief might be a natural process. And however someone goes through that is their own kind of, you know, process and wave and phase. And I don't feel like there's one particular way that things have to be done. I'm just kind of going through some of my processing with this. And yeah, sharing a little bit because I didn't always used to share, and I still don't always share what's always going on with me. But I just felt kind of called to share some of that today with you, and share some of the violet flame light pyramid transmutation. um, yeah, is there anything else that I would like to go through with this? I'm also being called to share a little bit about this. So what I've been kind of thinking about recently, is okay, so the hanged woman, she's on this pole, right? And so the pole goes from the very top of the card to the very bottom of the card, and the pole goes throughout the whole central channel of the whole card, essentially. So if I'm thinking about this kind of idea of this like central kind of pillar, and imagining like energetically, um, the middle is kind of like the equanimous point of it, like feeling neither up nor down, but kind of balanced in the center. And I mean, obviously, one can be anywhere along this kind of like um, energetic spectrum. Um, and personally, I don't like to use good or bad very often because I mean, I feel like I have an understanding of that, but I don't feel like it's very specific, and I don't like to think of people as good or bad, so it's not always something that I like to think about, but I can think about, like, am I feeling, like, up here energetically, or am I feeling, like, down here energetically? And then, like and just noticing kind of, like, where I'm at as, like, an emotional or mental kind of, like, awareness, um, just as a gauge of seeing, like, where I am energetically, um, and, like, patterning of, like, how things are moving. So, like, if I find myself, like, down here in on the bottom of the pole, like, how can I just come back to this, like, neutral central place with my thoughts or feelings or actions? And the same thing for, like, if I'm way up here and I feel like I'm just, like, maybe it's, like, racing thoughts, or just, like, doing things really quickly, like, how can I, like, bring it down a little bit to, like, come back, closer to that, like, center point where I feel balanced and in body, mind, and spirit. So, I don't know, that's kind of a thought that I was just been thinking about recently, and I don't know, just thought that I would share and see if anyone else resonates with that in some way. I'd be interested to find that out. So yeah, that was the reading today. I want to thank you for joining me for the reading today. And of course, I would like to thank the tarot cards. Thank you, tarot cards. Thank you, chakra cards. Thank you, Sedona Crystal Magic. I love you. And I also am feeling called to tell you that I do offer some personal and private readings. If you'd like to do a one via Zoom, feel free to check out my website. If you'd like to schedule or find out more information about that, my website is trinitywavedesigns.com. And as always, I'm sending you so much love and so much light. And I look forward to sharing more here on the channel soon. So have a beautiful day. Namaste. Bye.